Speaking of ding-dongs, let's go. No, not Rob.
Hey.
We are talking bells, though, right?
Not a bad segue, though. Not a bad The American Guild of English Handbell Ringers. They're called the American Guild English Handball Ringers, people. They're here in town this weekend. I'll tell you, the most beautiful sound. We're coming back in a moment on the concourse downtown to listen, to talk, to just look in awe. Keep it here.
Let's go back out to Rod Luck, who's standing by downtown. If you hear a little ringing in your ears this weekend.
Man, it's neat here. I gotta tell you what, this is such a nice sound. After all the trouble and problems that you get in your head, you might want to show up this weekend to catch the American Guild of the English Handbell Ringers. Let's just listen to them for a moment, then we'll talk to somebody here. But just listen to this, will you please? Sit back and have a bagel. Oh, that is pretty. My name is Karen Zerlot. Karen, I've never heard of English handbell ringers. Of course, I'm not an authority on everything, but where do they come from? That's got to be from Old England.
No, they originally started in Holland.
Really?
Yeah, but they do have foundries in England, and we have foundries here in the United States.
Foundries now to make these are not the normal bells that you see on ships and other places and what have you. These are
tuned bells.
Yeah, they're so finely tuned.
Yes, they all have to be tuned to a certain degree, and then they are tuned within each other so that they sound good together.
They sure do sound good together. The director here, directing today, is Paul Lowe. Paul, keep directing, I'll just interrupt you. But it's such a softness, it's such an easy thing. The purpose behind all of this, I guess, in the old days was not to wake your neighbor or something?
That's right. It came out of the practice of ringing tower bells on the tops of churches, and in order not to awaken the entire town, handbells instead of tower bells were used by the individual ringers. Yeah, it was a community effort.
Well, I took a good guess there. I mean, this is not something we would have seen somebody standing out on a porch going, it's time for lunch and clanging a bell.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long is right. You know, I'm intrigued to see these big bells. And these big bells you would think would be so loud, but they're so soft. They're so warm. How come it doesn't make big noise?
The clappers have rubber on them to quiet them down a little bit.
With this clapper, can I stop you for one moment to show them the clapper? Can you show them that clapper right there? I know you aren't gonna mess up your song, I don't think. Interesting. What is it made of?
This is a rubber clapper, and then there's also a felt on here to quiet it down even further.
Wow. Let me let you get back to your song, okay? It's just so beautiful, folks. So, so beautiful. Hey, I want you to meet somebody from around here. Kari Shepard. Hi, Kari. How are you? Kari, I got to tell you about this lady is from Carlsbad. I heard from a little birdie. You had a perfect score on your SAT, right? Mm-hmm. And you're out here doing these bells all the time, so it means you can find time to practice. Mm-hmm. Where are you going to college?
St. Olaf College in Minnesota.
And are you going to be a professional bell ringer one day? No. I'm kidding. What do you plan on doing? Right now, play pretty music. Boy, a perfect 1600 on the SAT. It took me 5 tries, 320 each time to get 1600. This is just beautiful. Let's listen again for just a moment here before I say goodbye. The English Handbell Ringers, they're here on the concourse this weekend. Come see them, come listen. And before we stop, I have to ask you, why the gloves?
So that our oils from our hand won't damage the bells.
That's why the guy smacked me when I went to grab his bell a little while ago. Thank you. Again, it's interesting, folks. It's on the concourse. Come see it. You don't need to see me. Let's let it go away with some pretty music.
You know, Rod, this is such a treat because usually you don't see these folks, the handbell ringers, you know, only usually you see them at Christmas time. You don't usually see them during the summer.
I'll tell you what, they say they do concerts all over the world at all times of the year. It's so relaxing. I think I'll stay here for a couple of hours. Anyway, you got a hamburger? I'll eat it and listen. See you later.
Hamburgers. We're going to be talking cashews here.
That's right. And the question is, what do cashews have to do with sex?
Perhaps they can increase your appetite for more of it. We're not kidding. It's just ahead as the KUSI Morning News continues.